I guess just kind of start from the beginning. Are you born and raised in Chicago?
I'm born and raised in Winfield, Illinois.
Okay.
Which is like, 28 miles, as they say, because my address was 28 West, and that's how they did that, was how many miles west of the city. So yeah, I grew up in Winfield on a farm, horses, goats, sheep, and stuff like that. Not a real farm, not a working farm, but that kind of thing that my family and my friends eventually turned the barn into sort of like a hippie commune sort of thing. So that's cool. That's how I grew up. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So was music like always around then?
Yes. My mom was a bluegrass banjo player. She played accordion as well.
That's pretty badass.
Yes. She was also at one point the second fastest typist in the world.
Hell yeah.
She was a court reporter.
Cool.
Yeah, so she had a lot of fast hand-eye skills that evidently I inherited. There was like an organ and a piano, always around, and obviously the banjo was always around too, and obviously just a crazy record collection as well. But at one point where there were 6 kids, right? My mom had 6 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, so at one point they had to find a new place for the piano to go, and they shoved it in my room. So probably when I was, 5 years old or something like that. So that had once you start just messing around with it and just finding out melodies and stuff like that, so it was all over from there.
Nice. So what were some of the records you remember playing in the house?
Well, yeah, and this is kind of what led to me playing steel guitar was, so my mom had this crazy country record collection, very old country, from the 40s, 50s, 60s, stuff like that, and folk as well. And then my grandparents also, I had access to their record collection as well. And what was kind of like hip and cool in the 50s and 60s was Hawaiian music, like lounge Hawaiian, not real Hawaiian.
Yeah.
But definitely led me on that path to I would listen to those country records or those Hawaiian records, and I would hear the steel guitar, and I would just be like, well, whatever's making that sound, I want to play it.
That's cool. That's cool. It's neat that you're able to like pick that up too and be like, whatever that is, I like that, and that's what I want.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. You just hear that, and you just don't know what it is, and you figure it out, especially the days before the internet, you had to ask and, go to the library, stuff like that. So, yeah.
I love telling my 10-year-old stories like that. She's just like, ew, Mom, you're so old.
We had to go to the library and take
pull
out
over
records.
the thing and like look and see where you wanted to find it.
The card catalog. Of course, I know my Dewey Decimal System.
It took like the whole afternoon.
Of course. Oh yeah, and my small town library was not that great, so I had to deal with what I had to deal with.
And you had to hope to God that nobody else had checked it out before you.
Exactly. And God knows what was there, or there would be some real treasures there because small town library, you never knew what was going to be there. For sure. Exactly.
So 1 of 6 kids. What kind of kid were you?
I'm the youngest. Okay. Troublemaker / peacemaker, right?
Yep.
Isn't that what they say? Yeah. So yeah, the youngest of 6. Big age gap with me and my siblings. I was born in 1978, and my oldest sibling was born in 1961.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
That's a nice range of kids.
Big range, yeah. So my 3 oldest brothers and sisters were kind of, always looking out for us, that sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a fun way to grow up, I'll tell you that. Just having, we were at the end of a dead end street. We had a barn, we had a back house, we had a main house, and we were bordered on a forest preserve, so we could just run around and pretty much do whatever we wanted. So
nice.
It was pretty great. Yeah.
Enjoy childhood to the fullest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you know that music was something that you wanted to like really pursue? It wasn't just something fun, but you're like, yeah, I want to do this.
Oddly enough, very early on. And I always knew it would never, they say you're never going to get rich. You're never going to get rich, but you'll always be happy. But and that's what I've done, and I've made it actually my job for so long that it's pretty amazing. But yeah, I played drums first. I played drums for 10 years without playing any other instrument, and I played in a band called Shifficate Cricket, which became Tractor Kings, which is still around to this day, which is kind of funny. And I played drums for a long time because my older brother played drums, and I inherited his drums. And you know how you get a job playing drums when you're 12 years old? Own a drum set. That's pretty much how you get that job. Yeah. So then I played drums for a long time, and I just basically never wanted to do anything else. And then shortly after that, I started my own band, the Morningsides, in 1997, and I'm still in them to this day.
That's cool.
I'm still in my high school band.
That is neat, though. Like, a lot of people can't say. I don't think anybody can say that, really.
I know. The right behind me, this right here, Hearth, is the one of the album covers to one of our albums there.
That's cool.
Thank you. Yeah, and we have 2 new albums that just came out: Resurrection and Super Album.
Nice.
We're the Morningsides. Go check us out anytime you'd like. So yeah, I'm a lifer. I've been doing this for a long time, and of course all your friends peel off and have families and get regular jobs or whatever, and I'm a gun for hire.
Still here doing your thing.
Still here doing my thing, roof over my head.
For sure. So what musicians inspire you?
Well, so many. God, like off the top of my head, Dave Brubeck, which is kind of odd, not being in my genre that I would play, but I definitely respect people that have work ethic and definitely willing to expand, the definition of what their genre would be, and I believe Dave Brubeck did that very well. Doug Somm, I don't know if you know who that is, but Doug Somm, he played sort of, country, of course, is a, whatever, but he played Tex-Mex. He grew up on the border of Texas and Mexico, and, had all these, so he expanded what he was doing. And of course it was in those crazy late 60s era. So he was expanding in many ways, but, obviously I have great respect for the classics, Jerry Garcia. And, I spent, an absurd amount of time following Phish around when I was a kid. Yeah, a little too much of my time. No, I'm just kidding. No, proper amount of time.
The right amount of time to be following Phish in your young years.
So yeah, I followed them from 93 to 98, something like that.
That's the right time to do that.
Yeah.
So, good job.
Spent a lot of time. Yeah, it was basically just them setting the itinerary for me to go look at America with a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. No, I love Phish, and that's why it was really cool to do the twist thing with Brendan. That was really that was quite an honor for so many reasons, because I have such a background with Phish,
Yeah, for sure. Well, since we're talking about that, let's talk a little bit more about that. Like, how did that come together?
Well, Brendan and I are good friends, of course, and we were.
Oh, you don't say.
You don't say. Exactly. So we were hanging out one day. And he was just like, "Hey, you want to play on this Phish thing?" And I'm just like, "Sure. What song is it?" And he's like, "Twist." And I'm like, "Really? You think that needs pedal steel?" And he's like, "Oh, you'll hear, you'll see." And I was just like, "Oh yeah, you made it creepy. Perfect. All right, you made it weird and creepy. Perfect. All right, I'll be right over." And and we did it. We did it in his basement, and my part probably took 45 minutes. Nice. It was great. Yeah, we work pretty well together. Go figure. Yeah, and Kevin Browning, of course, is just master engineer. Always makes everything easy and fun, and he's got a great ear. And yeah, it went very well.
Very cool, and such a cool opportunity for you, like you said, being a Phish fan like you are. So
yeah, exactly.
Nice. So tell me some more about, I'm going to read this so I get this right. Handsome Man's Gentleman's Club.
That is correct. I believe
Hi.
the only band with 2 apostrophes.
Yeah, it's like I had to read it because I wanted to make sure I got it right.
Yeah, I named it. I named the band because I don't know. I just felt like being a jerk at the time, I guess. And now the name gets more traction than the music, which is pretty funny. And we're playing cover songs. You know what I mean? We're not trying to change the world quite yet. No, we're gonna make an album at some point. But it's just Rick LaCour and myself. And yeah, so we called ourselves the hardest working band in COVID because we were a duo and we were playing all the outdoor shows. And yeah, we were really lucky and really blessed to be able to play shows when, like our other band, Fate Night, obviously has 9 members, and we were not going to get 9 members anywhere. We weren't going to get 9 members on stage. We weren't going to get 9 members in the same room to practice. We couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So Rick and I were bubbled throughout anyway to be able to play music. And yeah, it's been really great. And we've got tons of gigs coming up. I have no idea when you're airing this, of course, but we're playing 3 gigs this weekend for Memorial Day, and then we're playing a lot in Harbor Country, like New Buffalo and Michigan City and stuff like that. Nice. This summer for everybody's first summer back, right?
For sure.
So it's gonna be really fun.
It's exciting to have stuff to look forward to.
It's exciting to be the soundtrack for people to have fun. Yeah. I went to one of the drive-in shows, one of the Umphrey's drive-in shows, and it was just, it was insane. It was insane to hug everybody you haven't seen in so long. And oh my God, it was great. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to get that opportunity next month. They're doing 2 nights here at Apple Valley, which is like 2 hours from me. And
oh, nice.
It took a fucking pandemic for them to play 2 nights at the same venue by me, but I will take it. I'm so happy.
I was like, you'll take it when you can get it. Exactly. Yeah.
For sure. And I have to drive home each night because of my dog. Because she's not ready to be boarded yet. I've been home with her every day for 16 months. She's not ready to be boarded for a length of time yet.
No dogs allowed at the show? No dogs at the show?
No, it would be too much for her. It would be overwhelming. Okay. And I don't like doing that. It kind of always bothered me when people would do that. If it's not a service dog, it's not the right place for the dog.
Fair enough. I didn't know. I'm an old hippie, so everybody had a dog in the 90s. So I don't know.
It was so different than it is now, for sure. Definitely.
For the record, I never brought a dog on tour. For the
I bring my kids on tour. My youngest has been to 15 Umphrey shows already. So,
and if they can handle it. They can handle it, right?
He can hang, so it's good.
There you go.
It's all that matters.
Oh my God.
So talk a little bit about what 2020 was like. You were creating some, you were just talking about that, but as a musician, it was nuts.
It was nuts. It was, even songwriting, obviously just songwriting alone is fine and you can do that, but then you create an idea and you're like, oh, let's go to the studio as you normally would. And then you're like, well, am I going to wear a mask for 5 hours while I'm doing this? And is there only going to be one other person in the room and all that sort of thing? And like I said, luckily Rick and I could actually play, you know what I mean? Due to places like Ravinia Brewing Company, Montrose Saloon, places like that. Any outdoor, so we were playing all these outdoor places, which were great. We were playing nothing indoors. And it was great. Everybody following the rules and everything, which was really great. There were no spreader events anywhere we played. And I was glad to hear that. And, because of being in the duo, I was just very lucky to be able to play the whole time. And that was, everybody's like, Shakespeare, wrote Hamlet during the Great, Plague, when he was stuck inside and this or whatever. I was like, well, somebody actually had to entertain these people. So Rick and I were actually out entertaining, which was pretty great, because even with the reticence of, people, and the COVID and the whole thing or whatever, people were really happy to see live music. Now they're really happy.
For sure.
Now they're going crazy because they don't have to wear masks for the most part and this and that. So I have a feeling this summer is just gonna ramp up in its insanity with people getting, having more and more fun.
Like what I've heard people say, the Roaring 20s are gonna
Yes.
be back. So
Yes.
That's definitely the case.
Yep, the tour dates are rolling out from all of our favorites, and
it was a little overwhelming there for a minute. I was like, all right, everybody needs to stop for 1 second. Like, can't wrap my head around it all.
Yeah, can you afford all those tickets at once? I don't think so.
No. Well, because I'm going to Iceland. I was supposed to go to Iceland and didn't. And so I'm going back to Iceland. And so I would like to enjoy Iceland. So I kind of, need a plan for that.
Iceland is fantastic. You'll have a lot of fun. I was there for the Iceland Airwaves Festival in the year 2000.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, it's a magical place, if I may use that word. It's very cool.
Awesome. I'm so excited. But you got to do what? Why Not? And you did the Christmas show with Bayliss. So are those the only streams that you did, or did you do?
I did. No, actually, I did a lot of Handsome Man's Gentleman's Club streams. We did a bunch outdoors right out in front of Rick's front door for a while until it got too cold. Actually, we did a couple where it was still too cold. And where my hands froze. And then we went inside and then we did that. But the one I'm most proud of would be we did Handsome Across America on New Year's Eve. And this was my crazy idea to ring in the new year in every time zone.
Nice.
So we played for 5 straight hours, and every midnight that was appropriate, we popped a bottle of champagne and sang Old Lang Syne and did the whole thing or whatever. And of course by the end we're a little sloppy and and tired and whatnot, but and these are all available to stream for free on our YouTube page, Handsome Man's Gentleman's Club. You'll be able to find it. And it's good fun. And we tailored the songs for each time zone to that time zone, that kind of thing.
Nice.
So it was really fun, and it was making a set list a little bit different than normal, and peppering in the normal ones that we play, but learning a ton of new songs and stuff like that. And we try to pride ourselves on that anyway. Don't play the same set every time, which is real easy to do, which is especially in a cover band where you're playing like a private party here, a block party there, a small bar here, or whatever. It's just like, well, there wasn't any of the same people, but you have to keep it interesting for yourself as well.
For sure.
And that comes through in the performance when you care.
For sure. I think that might be some kind of world record or something, doing 5 New Year's in one night.
Thank you.
Did you look at this? Did you look it up in the Guinness book? Like,
nope.
I think you need to check. I think you need to see.
Yeah,
I mean, you have the proof. You have the video of it, so there's your proof.
I have the video of it, yeah. And I mean, we took some breaks, but I mean, as far as like ringing in the new year, there has to be some sort of.
I don't think there's been like 5 simultaneous New Year's.
Yeah, it's like the George Thorogood thing where he played 50 states in 50 days.
Yes.
Which I'd like to do that someday too, but I don't think I have that kind of clout quite yet. But yeah, I'd like to do that someday.
Well, it doesn't have to be like a big play. You just play anywhere. It doesn't have to specify. You just outside the car, the gas is pumping. You're playing. That's right.
It's like at Alaska and Hawaii, you're going to be the tough ones, and no, I'm just kidding. The flyouts are the only hard ones.
All right, so talk about Why Not. Talk about being in the basement on Why Not.
Oh, that's just good fun. That's just like it's like my second home. It's funny, for those who may actually be familiar with the old Christmas shows. So we used to always go to Brendan's house where he lived before and practice the night before, have a lot of fun, and then be tired the next day. And what we would, one of the last ones we did, his neighbors complained and we weren't really being that loud. It's an acoustic show after all, but he was complaining and blah, blah, blah. And then the next day at the show, you know, at a sold out Park West, he's just like, this next one's for my neighbor, you know? And I was like, ooh, I was like, okay, that's pretty crazy. And then we talked about it, and he showed me plans for his new house. And he was just like, we're going to have a basement one day. We're going to have a basement. We're going to have a, you know, no one will be able to tell us to turn down. And I'm like, one day, man, one day. So like these Why Nots were kind of like the culmination of, you know, he made it. He finally made it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool because, you know, I can tell you from a lot of personal experience, neighbors, I love my neighbors, but yeah, exactly. But
I don't love my neighbors.
Okay, so maybe I don't love my neighbor. No, of course you have to love your neighbor, but you know, no, but I would also love to be able to play an acoustic guitar without getting yelled at.
For sure.
But you know, but what are you gonna do? But anyway, so yeah, I was really proud of Brendan and Annie and the kids, you know, having like a, you know, a spot to do their thing. So, and of course a spot to do our thing too, and we can record and we can do this and that, and it's all like perfectly acoustically, you know, balanced and whatnot. So it's really great. It's really great.
Awesome.
And then with Why Nots, you know, you just get to go down there and, you know, kind of just mess around. And it's really fun.
Well, that explains why Annie can sing as loud as she wants. And
yes,
I always wondered, I'm like, how are like the kids not hearing this right now?
Yeah, and maybe yeah, no,
they might hear it a little bit, but like it wouldn't be like it is in my house.
Well, that's why Why Nots start around 9, is because, you know, kids have to be asleep. So, you know, around 9. That's why it starts when it starts. So yeah, we're probably gonna do one more of those probably before the whole thing is over. Before the whole Why Not thing is over, I'm probably gonna do one more with them.
That's been so much fun. And there were some weeks where it was like the saving grace. Some Friday nights, you know, when it was like the thick of it in there, you know, sometimes you're just like, oh, thank God. Like, this kind of feels normal.
And imagine me, you know, just like not being, you know, and of course I would watch them too. I'd watch them, you know, just as regularly as anybody else, because Friday night, what else are you doing? And it's really great, and watch your, you know, your friends be silly and play some good music. And when I played one, I was just like, oh, you know, just like putting my guitar together, putting my thing together, because I rarely was doing that. You know, it was really fun. And then I got really used to playing for a camera, which that took a long time to get used to.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It did.
Yeah.
I am much better in front of lots and lots of people than playing to a camera and pretending it's lots and lots of people.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's got to be different and hard to do when, you know, I mean, it's fun. You're playing with Bayliss, you're in the basement having a good time, but like there's not people there. So you can't really tell if, you know, like people enjoyed that or anything.
If Annie likes it. Yeah,
at least she's there for some kind of audience.
Exactly. Yeah, that was pretty cool when I played, I think it was You and You Alone or whatever it was. Yeah, that's what it was. And she was just like, I never want to hear that again without Racky playing on it. I was like, oh, it was like so sweet.
You took it next level.
Oh, thank you.
So talk about coming in, what, last minute to do the Christmas show? Were you kind of already planned to do that, or because of everything that happened, you kind of got tapped in?
I was supposed to play the whole time. I had my negative test and sequestered myself and the whole 9 yards. I was supposed to be Brendan, Jake, and myself, and then whatever, what do they call it? Abundance of caution.
Yep.
And which was pretty cool too, which was really cool to see Jake do his thing, which, that certainly wouldn't have happened at Brendan's house, him having like the, backing track stuff, whatever. So I thought that was really cool to have like kind of you got two separate shows. So that was pretty neat. And then, that was really cool. And then Annie singing like a bird. That was really fun, man. That was great. And I got to play guitar. That was fun. I got to play guitar while he played mandolin. That was fun too. Mm-hmm. So it was really great. It was to keep the Christmas show thing alive through COVID was no small feat, and was super, super important to keep like the thread going, a little bit because, didn't want to break that. Besides like a couple times, I think maybe only once when I was in Hawaii, I had to miss it. So I think I've been there, and you liked the thing on my Instagram the other day. So it was 13 years ago yesterday that I first played on stage with them at summer camp.
That was the first time.
That was the first time that I played on stage with them at summer camp. Not the first time I played on stage with them, but summer camp. So that was 13 years ago.
Yeah, that was my first summer camp. And that was like my second Umphrey show too. It was like so early in like my Umphrey's festival time. So it's so funny that
I think I had no gray hair. So look at it that way.
I only had one kid at that point. So
there you go.
So yeah, I didn't have as many gray hairs either.
Yeah, that was really fun. That was really great. And the summer camp thing has just become, so of course I've been to every single one since, once again, barring maybe a couple when I was in Hawaii, but and I've basically played with them, I'd always just jump up for a song or something, here or there for the most part with them. I've played there with the Morningsides with this band. And I've played there with Fate Night, obviously, 4 times, I think now. Or this is the
Fate Night show at 2019 summer camp was probably my favorite set from the whole weekend.
Well, and I've heard that a lot, which is I'm so.
I was so happy to finally be able to catch you guys. Like I had been wanting to see you guys play for a while. And I'm a fan of yours too, not just Bayliss's. So I wanted to see you play too. And I finally was like, my ass is staying up and doing this. And it was so worth it. It was such a good show. And Vince coming out and singing White Wedding. Like every time I hear White Wedding from now on, like that's exactly what I think of.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah. Fate Night has been, by far, the most fun project I've ever been a part of. Rick LaCour's, brainchild. And, for those who don't know, it's a wrecking crew of musicians and a random computer database of, popular songs. And we press the button and a song comes up on big screens all around us with all the lyrics and the chords. So crowd can sing along. And we've never seen the song before, so we just read the chords and we all kind of know the song and we give it our best and give our own spin to it and see what happens. So we've based an entire cottage industry on not knowing what's going on.
I think we call that life, right?
Yes, exactly. You see all these bands that are so well polished and so well rehearsed, and I'm like, you know what? We've heard it. I've heard this whole rehearsal thing, fantastic. You learned your songs. No, I'm just kidding. But we don't. And all you scampers, get ready. It's happening again. Fate Night featuring Brendan Bayliss. I'm going to assume Friday night, but I don't know specifically yet because everything's still kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take a wild guess and say late night, Friday night. But I don't know yet. But it is definitely happening, featuring Brendan Bayliss and friends. And we're looking to do some standalone Fate Nights after that. Definitely pretty, we're probably going to have some of the usual suspects involved as well. Nothing solidified yet, but we are heavily working on it right now.
Nice.
As we speak, other people are working.
I wish that I lived a little closer to the Chicago area because we're not going to get any Fate Night shows in Buffalo. So I could probably get you a show. I probably could. I will try and I will be there.
Let's be in touch.
Okay. I'm serious. I think I might be able to do that. Okay.
Yeah. We're willing to travel.
Okay. I think I might actually know exactly who to call.
There you go.
So is there like any song that Bayliss is just like, I will not sing that? Or is he just like up for whatever? Is there like, he's just like,
I thought, okay, there may be, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but when we first started this thing, we had like, okay, so there's going to be some things that are going to come into play. Like when can we veto? How many can we veto? Can we veto at all? Like, do we just have to throw ourselves into it? And when we've got Bayliss with us, he'll just be right off the bat like, no. And then it'll be like, oh, yeah, let's do this one. And I'm like, all right, just, it's your night, buddy. Let's just do whatever you want. And of course, that makes it more fun. And I also deny things too, just because you have to read the audience too. It's just like, something comes up and you're just like, it's going to be boring for them. You just read the audience and you're like, I know they're not going to like this. So, stuff like that. But I think there was maybe a song he wouldn't do. Let me think about that. But I think there is like a definite song that he won't do. It's also kind of funny too, when we did the Park West, right, with Ryan and Brendan. I don't know if you were there.
No, sadly,
but Ryan was so awesome. We gave him the possible list of like 500 songs, and I think he learned all of them. Not knowing that we were just like, no, we just have to press the button. Like, you just have to be familiar with it as a song in general. He's like, no, I learned them all. I was like, well, you're ready. Well, then you're ready. Yeah, Ryan was that was such a great show. That was the basic, the Fate Night featuring Basic. Yeah, that was, and we sold it out, and that was also right after the Lakefront Green. Is that what it was called?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I played that one, and that one, as far as my sit-ins go, that was definitely the coolest venue I've ever played.
I was gonna say that place seemed like it was really neat because it's right on the water. And is it on like its own little island kind of thing, or
it's like a little, like, it juts out, because it's all like lake fill, like from the Chicago fire, they like dumped all the all the garbage and the ash and everything into the lake, so they made it that much bigger. So it's like one of those kind of things. And it's oh god, it was gorgeous. And like there's a video of Push and Pull with taken with the drone footage. I don't know if you've seen it, but
I have seen it.
So that's nice to have on the old resume. Right
for
there.
Sure, that doesn't hurt.
Throw that one on the sizzle reel. Yeah, that one was fun. Yeah, but yeah, that was that's the most beautiful venue. I mean, I've played a lot of beautiful venues, but I mean, and of course having the soft spot for my own hometown and whatnot as well, right on the lake there. I did just actually get to play this thing with this guy called the Lake Jumper, and he's been jumping in the lake every day for a whole year.
Okay.
Including like cutting a hole in the ice and like jumping through the ice.
Oh my god.
That kind of thing. But every day.
Why?
To raise money.
Okay.
To raise money. Yeah. It's not just because he's a lunatic.
I was like, there's got to be some reason.
Exactly. And one of the causes was Save Our Stages and nice. Raising money for local musicians and stuff like that. So every day that he jumped in the lake, he had a different musician playing in front of him.
Oh, that's cool.
So Handsome Man's Gentlemen's Club did it the other day, and it was really cool. And like it's having the lake here is and it's not just a lake. It's not just a lake. All of my I have my friends from Hawaii come over and visit once in a while, and they're just like, if you can't see the other side, it's an ocean. So I agree. It's the great it's Ocean Michigan. It's not Lake Michigan.
So tell me how you met Bayliss.
Oh boy. Here we go. All right. So it's kind of funny that I grew up with Bob Stone.
Okay. Everything comes back to Bob Stone. I swear to God.
but oddly enough, that's not how I ended up playing with them.
Okay.
I know. So just to give you a little backstory, my songwriting partner and partner in the Morning Sides is Tom Perona, and he was in a band with Bob Stone called Stone Perona.
Okay.
And they were good at writing music, but not good at writing lyrics. And I wrote their lyrics.
Okay.
In high school.
Wow.
Fast forward, and there was another guy named Manny Sanchez who lived down the street from me, who was a bass player in a heavy metal band called Aneurysm. So this all happened in Winfield, Wheaton area. Very strange. So flash forward 20 years later, whatever, however many years later, Manny Sanchez needs a studio place, and he ends up settling in my basement on the north side and calling it IV Labs. He then quickly has a client called Umphrey's McGee. I've never heard of them, never heard of him in my life. He says they need a pedal steel player. Would you like to play pedal steel with them? And I'm like, sure. On your recommendation, sure. I go to Gravity Studios one day. There's somebody just ripping on the piano. And I'm like, oh, hi, I'm here to play pedal steel, whatever. You must be the piano player of the band. He's like, no, I'm not. And it was Jake. And I'm like, okay, so what's going on here? And Brendan wasn't even there because it wasn't his song. And I was playing on Red Room that ended up on the bottom half, right? And a couple other people, Joel was there, a couple other people were there. I was playing the song, my pedal steel broke, and I had to come up with a different way to do the thing that I've been practicing for 2 weeks. And I did, and they were impressed, and they said, cool, and we hung out and had a good time. Then they liked what they had heard, and they invited me to play with them. And I think that's the first time I ever met Brendan, was at DeVryapalooza, as they called it, whatever was behind like the river back, like Roscoe and Western. Mm-hmm. Like that thing back there, like 2005, 2006 or whatever. So that's the first time I played on stage with them, was with North Mississippi All-Stars and stuff like that. And I was scared stiff, and it was quite the thing. But shortly after that, he invited me out for a beer at a live one. And he was just like, yeah, let's just go out. And we had hung out a few times already, and we're becoming friends and hanging out. And he's like, let's go out and just grab a beer. So we're just grabbing a beer. We're talking bullshit. And a group, slowly a crowd starts forming around our bar stools. And I'm like, is this normal, or is this what's going on here? And he's just like, whatever, don't worry about it. And then people are like tapping him on the shoulder, like asking him for autographs, like trying to buy him, whatever. And then the crowd gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm like, is this guy actually famous, or like, what's going on here? and because I truly didn't know him at all. I had no idea what was going on. And he's just like, we better get out of here. And I'm like, okay. And it just became like a Hard Day's Night moment. And it was really, really weird. And so we paid the bill, and we ordered a cab. And a cab was waiting, and we had somebody open the door. We ran out of the bar and piled in the cab and had to shut the door. And the crowd followed us and was like banging on the cab.
Oh my God.
I know. And it still seems ridiculous.
It totally seems ridiculous when you're saying it.
Yeah. And I couldn't believe it. And then we go like 2 blocks down to the store, and no one followed us. And I'm like, how does anybody not know to go there? But anyway, I don't know. It was a very weird moment. I have so many stories I can't tell, but.
Oh, I'm sure. But, another time in another place, we'll just have to get a beer, I guess.
We'll just have to get a beer. But yeah, but that was a very PG one, I could tell. I mean, there were so many great ones. Bayliss's classic from one of the, basically from the first time I got off stage with him, and now I've, played on stage with him so many times. He just pulls me aside and like gives me a big hug, and he's like, I like what you were trying to do there.
Bayless always coming with the complisalt. That's what it is.
He is the world's greatest smartass. Yeah, he is. Yeah, if you can rope him in with Catholic guilt, you're pretty good. But other than that, he's gonna run circles around you. Yeah, he's something else. That guy. But yeah, looking forward to Scamp. I mean, there we go. That'll be the next one, and we're trying to put some more Fate Nights together. But you'll be the first to know. You'll put them out.
I will totally do that for you. Mm-hmm. So tell me about the greatest piece of advice you've ever gotten about being a musician.
Well, my mentor, Greg Barker, I am now a mentor myself to Joel Janchenko, the drummer of Fate Night. It feels good to be a mentor. But my mentor, Greg Barker, said, rule number one, lesson number one, keep your ears open and your eyes up when you're playing with people. Look around. always look around, always keep your ears open and your eyes open, and don't, it's easy to get lost in yourself. It's very easy to get lost in the song. Music is all encompassing, all enveloping, and you're supposed to feel it, but you're the one playing it. So don't get too lost in it. You have to keep your head up and keep aware of changes and what anybody else is doing. And maybe if somebody else isn't paying so much attention, maybe pick up some of the slack for them. Do this. It's a team sport.
Nice.
Always keep everything up. So I always have great respect for my mentor, Greg Barker, for teaching. And he's taught me so many lessons, but that was lesson number 1.
Nice. And it's an important one.
Always be aware. Always be aware. So like I close my eyes when I sing. It's just a habit. It's just something that I always have done. But when I'm playing music and not singing, I probably have to learn how to look and sing at the same time. But when I'm just playing music, I'm definitely head on a swivel, making sure everybody's doing their job.
Well, and you kind of want to like absorb the moment too, and
you want to, yeah, and you can too, and you can, the longer that you play and the more seasoned you get, there's a moment where you can get lost for a second, and you can really kind of space out and have a good time and do whatever. But and then you hear like something that's definitely like, oh, we're coming in for a landing, if you will, and it's time to maybe put some pieces back together because we got real far out on this jam or whatever. We got too far out. We need to kind of bring it back together, and it's about knowing where you are. And once again, that's awareness. Awareness is a huge part of music. For sure. Absolutely. It's just a huge part of life. Too. Absolutely. No, that's so a huge tenet of Buddhism. Yes, exactly. So huge. So what is something that you never leave home without when you go on tour, besides your instrument, of course? Okay. I was about to say picks. No, let's see. Something I never leave home with when I go on tour. I don't know, a good book, obviously, like a fresh one, a good fresh book. Even if you don't finish it or whatever, but just like idle moments, it's good to have a book laying around. For sure. Yeah. I mean, in the old days, I don't know, but I mean, I guess now obviously like something that is, an iPod or something, something that is definitely just for music that is not online. So you can plug in and you won't get like texts or anything, something different from your phone. Right. Something that's dedicated to music, so you can just sit and if you just need a timeout. Right. And then also like a yo-yo. Yeah. Just something. Yeah. Just be busy. And of course, pen and paper. Oh yeah, I never leave home without pen and paper. I still write everything on pen and paper. Like I end up putting a lot of poems and song lyrics and stuff into the phone, but it's writing on paper is. Of course, it has its downside that sometimes you write it so fast that it's messy and you maybe don't know what you said. So writing into the phone would actually kind of fix that because you either said it or you didn't. Right. But there's something, I think something different comes out when you write rather than typing. And I think the emotion too. Like it hits, not that it doesn't hit you the same way, but sometimes when you just write it out of you, you're just like, oh, wow, okay. Yeah. And it's just the turn of the letter and how it comes out, and it creates another idea and so on and so on. Yeah. For sure. That's how good poetry happens. 100%. That's how it's been happening for decades. It could be different for other people, for these crazy millennials. I don't know how they write their poetry. In the air on some sort of holographic something. That's how they do it now. I don't know. That would, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. That's probably how they do it. Yeah, some sort of magic I don't even know about. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, is there anything else that you want to talk about? Is there anything I didn't cover? I don't know. I mean, this might need to be a 5-part series. No, I'm just kidding. There's so many things. Well, I did announce my media company, and I'm looking for. I am doing a podcast with Joel all about summer camp. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. So well, throw me in with the old man. All right, maybe we will. I'm just joking. But anyway, but I could talk. Maybe we'll go back and forth on some stories that I can tell. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, I don't know. Catch, if I had any last, like all my stuff, I guess. I don't know how the kids do
I'll
it.
link everything for everybody so they can find you and watch you and follow you and subscribe and do all those fun things.
Exactly. I also play in a band called Railheart, which sometimes is Steal Your Face, STEEL, huh? So we play country Grateful Dead.
Nice.
There you go. Steal Your Face. We're gonna do a bunch of stuff coming up, but we're also gonna do like a pre-Los Lobos thing in Evanston when they play in Evanston. So that will be fun. So yeah, just Fate Night, Handsome Man's Gentleman's Club, Morningsides. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Awesome.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. This was a lot of fun.
Well, thank you. You're a lot of fun too. This is great. And hopefully I will see you somewhere along the road at some point.
I hope so too. I need to start getting out and traveling some more. I just been home with the kids way too much.
You making it to summer camp?
I might. I applied for press, and if I can get a press pass, then I will go.
I think you get one.
I think I'll get one.
I think you get one. I feel like Larry David. I think you get
Well, I will definitely make some phone calls and see what we can do about getting Fate Night here.
Oh yeah, exactly. Of course, and I'll let the boys know.
Yes, I would love that. That would be so much fun.
That'd be great. I haven't been to New York in a long time, especially upstate.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely have to come and show you around the city too. That'll be fun.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, this is a great time.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, you too. Good luck.